What's up, you wild tigers? It's KB here, and I'm here with the Art of Game Design episode number 1. So, to begin this series, I'm going to say one thing. What is game design to you? Now, what exactly is it? Well, as we begin, let's be absolutely clear what it means. Game design is an act of deciding what a game should be. That's it on the surface. It sounds too simple. But no, there's more to it than just that. So, as it says in the book, it says, to decide what a game is, you need to make hundreds of thousands of decisions. Do you need special equipment to do game design? No, you can go right now, get a pencil, paper, make your game. Go on Unity, script something really quick, boom, there's your game. Put together pieces of Lego blocks or some cards, boom, there's your game. What about programming? Don't game designers have to be an expert at programming? No, they don't. First of all, many games can be played with the use of computer technology, like board games, card games, all that good stuff. So you can start game designing right now. Of course, it can be tremendous help if you do know the details, such as being a skilled writer, artist. This allows you to make better decisions more quickly. Now, that is one thing why I recommend GameDev.tv courses. You can learn about Unity, Unreal, Godot, creativity. You can learn about motivation. You can learn about all the stuff in between, like Blender, environmental, character design. You can learn about different ways of programming. You can learn about C++, C#. You can learn a ton of a plethora of courses, of ideas, of skill sets, all in one place. Go check out GameDev.tv. They have everything so you can build your plethora of knowledge so you can go out there and make the games you want to make. Now, so do game designers just come up with a story? No, because game design is more than just a story. You have writers for that. Game design is putting together the pieces of the whole entire, like I guess we'll say a pie. So you have to come up with how the game's going to flow. You're going to put together how levels are going to have to be to fit together so that the game is fun and engaging. The artists come up with the levels that you've helped engineer, because then you're going to have level designers design these levels. Then you're going to have to come up with the way the gameplay mechanics work out. Is this fun to jetpack around here? Is it going to be fun to kill enemies this quickly? Or is it going to be harder? Or you're going to have to use potions? Or you're going to have to use different weapons? You're going to have to come up with all of that. It's fun and engaging. And if you love designing this and you love designing that, and why not be a game designer? I love game designing. It's one of my favorite things because it takes an aspect of everything that I love, which is basically everything in this world. Religion, mathematics, finance, communications, acting, programming, biology, all this stuff you have to put together and you make your own game. So, another question. So the game designer makes decisions about what the game should be, writes them down, and moves on. Almost never. None of us have a perfect imagination, and games we design in our heads and on paper almost never come out the way we expected. Of course, understandable. Now, it's important to make the distinction between game developer and game designer. This is really important. Turning around, anyone who makes a decision about how the game should be is a game designer. Designer is a role, not a person. Almost every developer on the team makes some decisions about how the game should be, just through the act of creating content for the game. These decisions are game design decisions, and when you make them, you are a game designer. For the reason, no matter what role you take on the game development team, understanding the principles of game design will make you be better. That's why this is very important. So even if you don't want to be a game designer, even if you want to be a programmer, I recommend you go through this whole series that I'm going to make for you. If you don't want to spend time reading this book, it's okay. Just put this on while you're going to work, and you'll be fine. Put this, get the GameDev.tv community podcast on there, you'll be set. You'll be good. I'm serious, guys. Honestly, we have to engineer better ways to do game design, and game developers need to have a plethora of team members who understand exactly what we're doing as a game designer. So, we're on to the next one, and this is a great quote. It says, "The voyage of discovery is not in seeking new landscapes, but in having new eyes." It's very important. The goal of this book is not to make you the best game designer there ever was. Unfortunately, there is no unfinished theory of game design. No simple formula shows you how to make a game, so what can we do? We're in a position like ancient alchemists, in a time before Mendeleev discovered the periodic table, showing how all the fundamentals were interrelated. Alchemists relied on patchwork rules of them about how different chemicals could combine. Now, I kind of messed it up, so let's try it again. I said, in a time before Mendeleev discovered a periodic table showing how all the fundamental elements were interrelated, alchemists relied on a patchwork quilt of rules of thumb about how different chemicals could combine. They were necessarily incomplete Some were able to accomplish surprisingly things. Wow, I can't speak to that. Oh my goodness. We are gonna have to fix that later. Anyways, game designers await their Mendeleevi. All right, we're gonna scratch all that one. So okay, cut, KB, cut. Okay, now moving on. So when we're doing game design, it's very important that when we look through our eyes into this world of game design, game development, the gaming industry, we use lenses. And this is what this whole book's about. This is what's going to be going throughout the whole book. Good game design happens when you view a game from many perspectives as possible. I refer to these perspectives as lenses because each one is a way of viewing your design. I agree. So the whole point of this book is to focus on fundamentals. So many people assume that the best is to study the principles of game design. One would naturally say the most modern, complex, high-tech games available. That approach is not right. We're not going to do that. What we're actually going to do is we're going to follow the natural growth of traditional gaming into this new medium. The rules that govern them are still the same. An architect must understand how to design a shed before he can design a skyscraper. So we'll often be studying some of the very simple games so that we can move forward and make games like God of War, Detroit Become Human, any of these complex games that are out now. A game is a game, and we must omit to study nature because she is old. The principles that make the classic games fun are the same principles that make the modern games fun. Their success is not due to novelty of the technology. What is the case with modern games? The classic games have deeper qualities that, as game designers, we must learn to understand. So we're going through all of this, and stay tuned because this is going to be a great series where we go through every single lenses. And you want to know how many lenses there are? There's a lot. There are about 100 lenses. So we're going to do a lens a week. I'm probably going to get done in the next year, 2 years, so right? 52 weeks in a year. We'll get that done in probably 2 years. Now, let's talk to strangers. Do not forget to entertain strangers, for by doing so, some have unwillingly entertained angels. Game developers have a reputation for symphonia, which is the fear of talking to people. We can't have that, guys. This is just not the way we're going to do things here. We have to learn to move above and beyond our comfort zone so that we can become the greatest game designers there ever was. Mind you, the only way to really do that is to first put yourself out there. You're going to have to throw yourself out there. You're going to have to say, hey, I am the game designer and these are my ideas. And I'm afraid to tell you, but it's okay. I'm going to do it anyways. That is honestly one of the most important things you're going to have to do, because if not, we will not understand what somebody wants to say to us. If we can't communicate with other people and they can't communicate back with us, then we're not doing game design right. So the truth is really that game developers are usually just too busy to look outside their immediate surroundings. That also is true, I believe, because you're just so busy doing your own thing in your own life that you have no time. So to play it safe, we're going to stick with what we know, which unfortunately leads to a lot of cookie cutter game titles, which we don't. That happens way too much. You have to expand your horizons. You have to go out there and do podcasts. You have to go out there and meet people and do things to, build this knowledge of game development. Why should we have to develop all our principles from scratch when hard work has been going on in other fields, sometimes for hundreds, thousands of years? Because design principles will come from everything, everywhere, everyone, and everything you interact with. And design is everywhere. Not only will the book draw design inspiration from everywhere, it will persuade you to do the same. Everything you know and everything you have experienced is a fair into the game design palette. It does not make much difference what a person studies. All knowledge is related, and the man who studies anything it keeps will become learned. That's very important, guys. This is all very important to understanding all about game design. Now, we have to learn how to think. Every truth has 4 corners. As a teacher, I give you 1 corner and it's for you to find the other 3. This is very important. Just like GameDev.tv, we are going to have challenges. Okay? I want you guys to really learn game design. It's very, very, very important. Well, you must be ready to think for yourself, to figure out what certain principles don't work, and in certain cases, and invent new principles of your own will wait for you. Now, it's funny. This guy says he hates books. This is why I hate books. I hate books for to only teach people to talk about what they don't understand, and I agree with this a lot. You see, for instance, I took a long time to decide to do this book because I read that quote. I said, I don't want to just read this verbatim and be like, well, this is what's going to be. So I wanted to make it a very book review-ish type of, we're going to go through this book together. I've read it. We're going to read it again, but this time, once a week, we're going to go through lenses. And okay, sometime in the future, I might start adding video game footage or Unreal footage to show you what we're talking about. But if you truly want to be a game designer, then this book is not an end, but a beginning. The beginning of a continuous process of study, practice, assimilation, and synthesis that's going to last you the rest of your life. Boom. Now, the first lens. Actually, no, this is just chapter 1. And I love this chapter. It's amazing. It's all about why game designer is a great position, what is game design, why you should be confident in who you are, and why experience is very important. So, 1, you're a game designer. After today, you are a game designer. All the time, say, I'm a game designer, I'm a game designer, I'm a game designer. What skills you need to know? It always says right here, it says animation, anthropology, architecture, brainstorming, business, cinematography, communication, creative writing, economics, engineering, management, all the stuff I was mentioning before. That is all to do with game design. But one of the most important skills you guys need to learn is communication, listening, and all that powerful jumble wumble. I'm serious. It's very important that you communicate with your team, communicate with your artists, communicate with programmers what it needs to be done. Otherwise, they won't know. The game won't be built, and you will have a failed vision, a failed game, a failed process, and you might not want to continue. We can't have that. We have to have momentum. And games, the simple to the simple Pong to the complicated God of War, all work with communication to build this game. Now, to listen with a silent heart, with a waiting open soul, without passion, without desire, without judgment, without rebuttal, is what you need to have when you're listening to everybody. You need to say, okay, I like your idea. No biases, no nothing. I will take that into consideration. You move forward. Listen to anybody, what anybody says. That way you can understand the world better. You can better understand yourself, and you can focus more, and you take everything in that they say. Because a cleared mind allows stuff to come in. If you have a pool, if your head's like a dirty pool of water, you can't see what's going on. But if you let it still, the dirt will rise to the bottom, and you can see the bottom, and there is the gold. It's 5 kinds of listening. There is listening to your artist, listening to the game, listening to your client, listening to yourself, and listening to your team. The team is crucial. I want you guys to check out the Jocko Willing podcast to learn about team leadership and taking extreme ownership. As a game designer, you should take extreme ownership for the game design, and you should take extreme ownership of being a very effective communicator so that everybody understands your game design process and your game design vision. Now, the secret of the gifted. And after all this fancy talk, you confidence might be waiting. You might not be one. You might thinking, "Hey, I don't have the skills for this. I'm not ready for this. I'm not talented. I ain't got anything." The major gift is love for your work. This might seem backward. How can love be more powerful a skill than anything else? It is for a simple reason. If you have the major gift, the love of designing games, you design games using no matter what resources you have. If you have no resources, you're still going to make the game because you want to make the game because you love the game. You must love your work, your passion, your desires. This is not an easy task. I'm telling you right now, if you do not have the drive, the passion to be a game designer, then maybe this isn't right for you. But if you can decide in your heart that this is it and you will take utmost tenacity to go after it, to get after your dreams, to become a game designer, make the games you want to make, then I want you to say these 4 magic words. And let's go. Right here, right now. This is your challenge right now. Say it for the rest of the day. You got to scream it out loud and tell the whole world. I am a game designer. 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 So, as we move forward, it's all about experience. Everything you need to understand is a game is an experience for everyone else around here. And the reasons why all these lenses work is because they all are working towards creating an experience for you guys. Now, we're going to dive deep into the first lens for the next episode. I want you to understand the essential experience. And I want you to go and think about your life experience. Write 5 life experiences that will really stand out and pick one and make it into a game. And then we'll move on to the first one. And we'll talk about the essential experience in the next episode. And then we'll move on to lens number 2. So stay tuned and keep doing amazing things out there. Keep designing. And remember, you are a game designer.